Obviously, a massive fight week here, especially for Mexican MMA fighters ahead of Noche UFC. Honestly, outside of Alexa, Yair, and Brandon, I think you've had the most hype around you lately, especially in terms of the Mexican fighters. So I guess what's fight week been for you here? Because you were around the last one, but this is just a whole nother level.
I feel that UFC giving me the opportunity to fight in two consecutive Noche UFC is great, especially as you say now that we have the sphere and everybody around the world is going to be watching this because it's something that's going to happen one. It's great for the exposure. I feel that this is also because I'm always working hard, I'm always trying to improve, and I try to show that in every fight. So I'm excited to be here with you guys, and yeah. Let's keep it growing.
How has life changed for you outside the octagon since last Noche UFC? Because, like I said, since then it seems like you've only gotten more popular.
Every fight you get more fans. Every fight you get the people to know you better, and that's why I'm always trying to go out there and give my best performance. Because I know that at the end of the day, even if you go out there and win, but you kind of like look not that good, people is not gonna follow your career. So that's why I'm always trying to be amazing, like do flashy things. Just put on a show for the people.
And obviously, I think we saw you just got added to the video game. Um, do you feel like you're kind of this, like, because Lazy Boy was out here and I asked him the same question. I said, it seems like you two are kind of this new wave of fans. And he said, well, you're the hardest worker in the gym. So he was, happy that his name was even mentioned next to you. Well, do you kind of feel like you're at the forefront of like this new wave of Mexican MMA fighters?
I feel that we all are together. I don't like to put like stamps on who is on the front because I feel that everybody have his own rhythm. I've been in the UFC for 2 years. I have more fights than him in the UFC, but that doesn't mean that I'm doing it better or that I'm ahead. I learn from all the Mexican fighters in the UFC, and I know that they might be learning something from me. So, I'm trying to give that focus to the things.
In terms of your opponent, Esteban, were you surprised they matched you up so early in your careers, considering you guys are both still young, you don't have a lot of experience, and you guys could be fighting further down the road when you're ranked?
I thought the same from the last guy. I don't understand why UFC is like making us fight as young prospects. I guess they are trying to kind of like spice the things up in the division. Lightweight division is one of the toughest in the sport, if it's not the most competitive one. We see time after time after time contenders getting into the top 10, top 5, and then they just go kick out again. So I feel that it's also good that they are doing this because the guys that made it to the rankings, nothing is for free. There's other divisions where you kind of like fight one, two fights, and you are already in ranking conversations. But in the lightweight division, you can even be in a 9-win fight streak and not even be top 10. So that talks about the complexity of the division.
In terms of his skill set, he won his last fight in like 30-something seconds. He came out really aggressive. Are you expecting that aggression right out of the gate early?
Yeah, I feel that, I do my research and everything. I know that he's a very aggressive fighter, but I'm ready for that. I'm just, fight after fight, I keep learning the way that I need to fight, finding better my distance, my range, understanding what I need to do in the cage. And I feel that this type of fights help me to prove that because, if he was a grappler, we would be grappling for 15 minutes, but people don't want to see that. People want to see almost trying to kill each other, so that's what's going to happen.
He said this was, in another interview, he said this could be a striker versus striker fight. So is that how you see this fight?
Well, at the end of the day, we saw this time after time where two great wrestlers go out there and end up striking. It might be the same, right? Like he's a great striker, I'm a great striker. I might just go out there and take him down and control him for 15 minutes.
Last one for me. Can I just get your thoughts on the main event between Sean and Marab?
I love Marav. I feel that he's a very top fighter, but I don't know. I feel that Sean can find the shin in every spot. I feel that if the fights go to a decision, I have Marav winning because of the pressure, the cardio. He have the record for more takedowns in UFC history. In one fight, 50 something against Petr Yan. But again, I feel that he exposes himself a lot. and O'Malley is good finding those spots. He's a huge. I never met him before. I just met him today, but he's huge for being a bantamweight. So I don't know. It's a hard fight.
Hey, Daniel. How excited are you to have your family here to watch you fight for the first time in America?
I'm excited. You know, yesterday I went to the airport to pick my parents. It's fun. You know, for me to being a Mexican fighting in the sphere and having my family with me, that's only give me the extra motivation that I need, you know. I'm a very family-oriented guy. I love to be with my family, and I'm always saying to you guys, one of the hardest things that I need to do about fighting is not even train, is not even cutting weight. Right now I'm chilling, cutting weight. But being away from my family, from my girlfriend for 3, 4 months, and do that 3 times a year or more, it's kind of like the hardest part. So having them here with me, it's something that makes me feel warm inside, you know, like gives me that extra drive to go out there and try to kill Esteban this Saturday.
Who was the Mexican UFC fighter that you watched growing up that inspired you or that you just enjoyed watching fight?
Oh, I always watched Jair when I was a kid. Actually, I was just talking about that when the TUF Latin America, the first one came out, I remember I was always rooting for Jair, and it's crazy that he ended up winning, and now we are managed by the same management company. So, you know, I feel that being in this position now, it's great because every step that I'm giving, I'm trying to get closer to what he made. So.
And who were some of your main training partners this camp?
Oh, I've been training in Extreme Couture for almost 2 years, 2 years and a half. The room is always full of killers. This fight camp I was training with Ernesto. He's actually in the develop program. He's a very good wrestler, very good at striking. Mateus Camilo. He's another great striker, Nicolas Mota. So as you can see, we have plenty of guys in the room that can help me emulating the fighting style of Esteban.
And finally, for me, have you told Lazy Boy to watch out for cameras in his coach's
Yeah, I know, it's crazy, right? Yeah, no, he gets mad with me for saying that, but yeah, it's funny. It's funny living with more fighters, you know, guys. Oh, the house is always a mess, but I love those guys.
Daniel, obviamente va a haber muchísima gente viendo la UFC por la primera vez por el espectáculo de la esfera, pero hay gente de la población que ve el deporte en manera seria, que dice que la pelea entre tú y Esteban va a ser la pelea de la noche. Entonces, ¿cómo se siente oír eso, sabiendo cuántos buenos peleadores y peleadoras van a ver en esta cartelera en esta fecha importante?
Me emociona saber que la gente piense eso. Creo que Esteban es un muy buen prospecto, es un peleador fuerte, que le gusta ir hacia enfrente. A mí también, entonces entiendo por qué creen que va a ser la pelea de la noche. Yo estoy listo para dar una guerra, 15 minutos, 1 minuto, 1 hora. No me preparé para pelear 3 rounds, ¿sabes? Me preparé para pelear 12, 20, los que sean. Entonces, como dices, estoy listo para llenar esas palabras este sábado.
¿Y en cuántas peleas quisieras encontrarte en la foto de título?
Tengo un plan con mi equipo y es lo que hemos venido platicando. Después de esta pelea, me gustaría pelear con alguien que haya estado en el top 15 y haya salido recientemente. Me gustaría cerrar el año que entra peleando contra un top 15, buscando la posición en el ranking. Y después en 2026 subir top 10, top 5 y en 2027 estar peleando por el título.
¿Algún nombre en particular del top 15? Yo sé que esta división tiene muchísimos peleadores buenos, desde campeón hasta los que no son en el ranking.
Oh, ahorita tengo 3 nombres en mente que me gustaría para mi siguiente pelea. Es Michael Johnson, Chase Hopper o Claudio Puelles. Son peleadores que me gustaría enfrentar en mi siguiente pelea. Obviamente la pelea con Paddy Pimblett siempre está ahí, es algo que he estado pidiendo muchísimo. Yo sé que ya está en el top 15, la verdad no creo que dure mucho dentro, entonces quién sabe, a lo mejor gano esta pelea, él pierde la que sigue y nos emparejan por ahí, podría ser.
¿Y podemos esperarte que uses la canción del mariachi otra vez como hiciste el año pasado?
No, voy a usar mi canción, la misma canción con la que salí en febrero, voy a salir con esa otra vez.
Gracias.
A ti, gracias.
Daniel, right here.
Oh.
Here. You've obviously got a few wins in a row, but the last Noche UFC didn't go your way. Does this feel like a second chance to kind of impress on a big night?
I don't know what you're talking about because last Noche UFC I submit Yagos.
I meant to say to have another shot at having another big performance. to impress the crowd once again?
Could you repeat the question again,
Sorry.
please?
Are you excited to have another chance to impress the crowd once again?
Yeah, of course. I'm always, I've always been saying this. I like to be fighting with the crowd. I don't like fight. For example, when I had my first and only loss in MMA, it was here in the Apex, and it was sad because I feel that I was always gonna. I know that eventually a loss was gonna happen, but I always imagine that happen with a crowd and in a war, and it ended up being sad and different. So for me, I found out that I perform better fighting with a crowd, and now having the opportunity to do it in the Sphere with a lot of Mexican fans, a lot of Mexican eyes watching, and not only Mexicans, worldwide. This is the biggest combat sports event that has ever done. So I'm excited to be part of it, especially my first pay-per-view card and in the main card. That's something that drives me even more.
Thank you.
Hey, Daniel, over here, man. Over here. Sorry. Do you have a dream artist who could perform a concert at the Sphere, and why?
A dream artist. That's a good question, because I like music a lot, but now that we are in the Mexican Independence Day, it needs to be, who would be crazy? Luis Miguel in the Sphere. Luis Miguel, I don't know, maybe
That's
a
what
lot.
Diego said too, actually.
Hey, yeah, it's
Yeah.
because it would be crazy. Imagine,
Yeah.
he's El Sol de Mexico, brother. It's the big deal. So imagine that in the Sphere, it would be dope.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks. Thank you, everybody.